Hey everyone, welcome back to I Dream of Indie. Ole Gamer Joe coming at you today with another review. We are looking at Primal Light, which will be releasing onto Steam as of July 9th, 2020, from developer and publisher Fat Gem. This is a 2D platforming action-adventure game. In Primal Light, you will take control of a blue creature named Krog, who is on a quest to break a curse for both himself and his village people. Breaking this curse involves him collecting 12 different artifacts. It is said that finding all of these artifacts will break this curse, and thus Krog sets out on his quest, going through a variety of different areas in order to gather all of the artifacts and save his tribe. So Primal Light, being very much a 2D action-based platforming game, doesn't have a ton of controls to worry about. You can jump, you can slash, and you can also slash upward to hit your enemies that might be above you, or to break lanterns similar to a Castlevania game. There's no double jumping in this game, but you do have the ability to heal yourself up to 3 times as you start the game, and this will increase as you collect more upgrades. And you can also roll, which will help you to avoid enemy attack patterns, as well as the other traps that you'll come across along the way. Occasionally in Primal Light, while it is mostly a linear experience, you can veer off the beaten path a bit and find some secrets. These can lead to either extra lives or amulets, which allow for you to have certain abilities. Some of them come with a trade-off, however. For example, one amulet allowed for me to deal out more damage to my enemies. Unfortunately, the downside to using that is the fact that enemies will do more damage to me. So the game does feature a little bit of a risk-reward element, and you'll also only be able to equip these amulets at fireplaces, which act as checkpoints. You are able to equip more than one at once, so it's up to you to decide what's best for you. So a 2D action platformer lives or dies based on how good it feels, and thankfully Primal Light is an excellent feeling title. I really did enjoy the control scheme of this one, the risk-reward elements, and the platforming feels spot on. A lot of this is due to some excellent level design. I really did enjoy how they laid out the platforms in this game. Every jump felt a little bit risky, but so rewarding when you would land it, and also the enemies are unique and diverse enough from one another where it keeps things fresh. There's everything from mosquitoes, which will buzz in a little bit of an annoying pattern to try to get on your nerves, but thankfully that upward slash helps in dealing with them, to zombies, which will eventually spit acid at you, so you'll have to carefully back up and not just bash away at them depending on the level of strength that you have. For me, it was really obvious that these developers had a great passion for the Castlevania series, and it does show through. I will say, however, some of the boss encounters that you'll come across, there are 10 levels and 10 bosses to deal with in total, did feel a little bit on the cheap side. Luckily, I was able to spam a few of these bosses out. Perhaps there was a glitch at one point, I'm not exactly sure, but for the most part they are manageable. However, a few of them did get under my skin. So yes, the bosses were the most challenging aspect of the game, but the levels will put up a pretty good fight too. Luckily, there are 3 difficulties to choose from. I only tried the normal and the easy modes. I mainly played the game on normal, however, and from what I did play of those 2 different modes, all I really noticed was a life difference. You get more lives in the easy mode. In terms of enemy damage, they felt pretty similar, but I could be wrong. Like I said, I spent the majority of my time in the normal mode. One last thing to know about, which will help to tilt things in your favor a little bit, is a shopkeeper towards the end of each level that will allow you to purchase lives, up to 2 of them, using the coins that you've collected. That first life will cost you 250 coins, the second life will cost you 500. After that, you're out of luck. And while those fire pit checkpoints will help you while you have lives, should you completely run out of lives and game over, it's all the way back to the beginning of that level. Not the beginning of the game, luckily, though. Overall, though, Primal Light feels great. It's a joy to play, and picking up some of the new abilities along the way does add a little bit of variety that helps to keep things fresh. In terms of its graphical presentation, Primal Light is a fantastic looking title with some beautiful pixel art, wonderful scenery, and again, some really cool and clever enemy designs. All of the animations are beautiful to watch, and this is a game that looks great in motion. I liked all of the small details in the backgrounds. Your main character himself is really wonderful to look at. Small details like water moving in the background or flames shooting up behind you really do add to the overall presentation. This is a fantastic looking title. And the bosses, yes, while I was frustrated with them at times, were still enjoyable spectacles to look at. Primal Light is a game that's oozing with atmosphere, and that's helped by a wonderful soundtrack, very dark and brooding, fitting for the scenario that you're in. 16-bit in style, of course, as you would probably expect based off of the graphical presentation. But man, I gotta say, the music does a great job of setting the atmosphere for this one. Even though it's not necessarily songs that I would listen to outside of the game, it really does work well here. That's helped by some great sound effects as well. I enjoyed the sound of picking up an extra life, really satisfying, as well as whipping away at my enemies. Beautiful job in Primal Light in terms of both its graphical and sound presentation. Primal Light is an awesome game. Fans of Castlevania in particular will get a lot out of this one, but really if you're a fan of any 2D action platforming style game, this one does so many things right, it's hard not to love it. The mechanics feel spot on to me anyways. I think the graphical presentation is fantastic, and also the sound design is really good. Yes, it is a challenging game, but it's also a fair game. It's going to take you quite a few hours to master this one, and again, there are those 3 different difficulties, but I really can't recommend Primal Light enough. This is an excellent title that no fan of the 2D action platforming genre should miss out on. We hope that you enjoyed our review of Primal Light today. If you did, consider hitting the subscribe button down below to help us bring a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming. There's also a ton of other ways to support I Dream of Indie down in the description box. Those include heading out into the Discord or maybe even dropping into our Facebook page. However you end up supporting I Dream of Indie, however, we thank you so much for doing so.